is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
First reading. A reading from the Book of Wisdom, chapter 2, verses 1 and 12 to 22. For they reasoned unsoundly, saying to themselves, Short and sorrowful is our life, and there is no remedy when a life comes to its end, and no one has been known to return from Hades. Let us lie in wait for the righteous man, because he is inconvenient to us and opposes our actions. He reproaches us for sins against the law and accuses us of sins against our training. He professes to have knowledge of God and calls himself a child of the Lord. He became to us a reproof of our thoughts. The very sight of him is a burden to us, because his manner of life is unlike that of others, and his ways are strange. We are considered by him as something base, unclean, and he avoids our ways as unclean. He calls the last end of the righteous happy, and boasts that God is his Father. Let us see if his words are true, and let us test what will happen at the end of his life. For if the righteous man is God's child, he will help him and will deliver him from the hand of his adversaries. Let us test him with insult and torture, so that we may find out how gentle he is, and make trial of his forbearance. Let us condemn him to a shameful death, for according to what he says, he will be protected. Thus they reasoned, but they were led astray, for their wickedness blinded them. And they did not know the secret purposes of God, nor hoped for the wages of holiness, nor discerned the prize for blameless souls. The word of the Lord.
Dear friends, I'm sure you must have faced number of tests or other examinations in your life by now. Number of examinations. Can you just remember how you prepared for those exams? Sometimes those exams may not have bother you much. Yet Jesus is in today's liturgy of the word is insisting on the final test of our lives. Are we ready to face the final test of our lives? Proclamation of the Holy Gospel according to St. John. After this, Jesus went about in Galilee. He did not wish to go about in Judea because the Jews were looking for an opportunity to kill him. Now the Jewish festival of booths was near. But after his brothers had gone to the festival, then he also went, not publicly, but as it were in secret. Now, some of the people of Jerusalem were saying, Is not this the man whom they are trying to kill? And here he is, speaking openly, but they say nothing to him. Can it be that the authority really know that this is the Messiah? Yet we know where this man is from. But when the Messiah comes, no one will know where he is from. Then Jesus cried out as he was teaching in the temple, "You know me, and you know where I am from. I have not come on my own, but the one who sent me is true. And you do not know him. I know him, because I am from him, and he sent me." Then they tried to arrest him, but no one laid hands on him because his hour had not yet come. The saving gospel of the Lord. Dear brothers and sisters, we have in the first reading the following words: "Let us test him with insult and torture, so that we may find out how gentle he is and make trial of his forbearance. Let us condemn him to a shameful death." Dear brothers and sisters, in these words, Christian tradition sees a foreshadowing of the passion of our Lord Jesus Christ, the essentially virtuous and the target of hatred. Dear brothers and sisters, Jesus' death was the supreme test of his life. And nowadays, we reflect upon the passion, death of our Lord Jesus Christ. This is the sacred time in which all of us find meaning in our lives when we reflect upon the passion, death of our Lord. Dear friends, Jesus' death was the supreme test, and Jesus passed his supreme test extraordinarily well. It is very, very important for us to examine our own conscience and see how we face our test or rather examination of our life. My dear brothers and sisters, how Jesus extraordinarily faced well his test. It was because of his relationship with the Father. He had no difficulties. Though it was painful, he had the courage to face that test extraordinarily well because he had so much union with his Father. Dear brothers and sisters, all of us will have to undergo the final test of our life. Before the final test, there are so many other tests to face. My dear brothers and sisters, we have trimester tests or examinations. These may not bother us so much. Once a ship's chief engineer went down the staircase to examine the engine room, and he asked the workers who were working down there, "How long have you been working here?" They candidly replied, "Ever since we saw you coming down." Dear brothers and sisters, our preparation also can be like this. Well, we may be preparing for our examination even since the date of the examination of a particular subject has been announced. Or sometimes we might study overnight. My dear brothers and sisters, there are also many other tests in life. But the most important test we have to face, we have to undergo, is the final test of our life on the day of our death. Dear brothers and sisters, it will be a test of our whole life. For that test, each moment of our life will be taken into account. Therefore, today matters a lot. Every moment of today matters a lot. And therefore, let us take into account each and every moment we spend here on earth.
Wachanayano